I think this is the new norm. I mean, I think that the frenzy around GameStop or whatever other stocks Reddit is deciding to pile into today, like those run-ups are going to be temporary. Those stocks will come back to earth eventually. But I think this phenomenon of sort of distributed power in investor, in the investing community, this idea that the internet can sort of seize on something and put enough money behind it to really move markets. I think that's something we've seen happen in other areas of life, that we've certainly seen that in politics and entertainment. So I think it was only a matter of time before it happened in finance too.
Do you think this could have happened, Kevin, this past month without there being significant short positions, i.e., if this wasn't a sort of short squeeze play, would it have had the same effect? I guess the examples last year might be Tesla and Bitcoin to say that it could have had the same effect. But to what extent has that accentuated it? And if those short positions go away, will this also, again, move on?
I think the short positions makes for a great narrative, which is a lot of what is compelling people on Reddit and things to sort of pile into this trade. It feels good to take down someone you've identified as the big guy or the establishment. And what's really interesting is that short sellers used to be those rebels taking on the establishment. Who were the long funds. So it's interesting how that's kind of flipped on its head. But I think that dynamic of sort of lots of retail investors taking on whoever they decide is the establishment is going to continue, because that's what we've seen in every other place this has happened.
No matter what happens, Nick, do the social media companies, do the Reddits, and it's also happening on Instagrams and Facebooks and other social media sites, do they bear any responsibility ultimately if this ends badly?
I mean, it's a great question. I think that they can't control it. I think, Kevin is completely right. This was a long time coming. I think that and you're not putting the genie back in the bottle. With GameStop, you saw the part of it was as a result of the shorts. With other companies, it's not. With BlackBerry, I mean, look at them. They drove up Tootsie Roll. There was a point this week where they were buying AAGH stock just because it spells out ah. I don't think that there's anything that can be done about this at this point. And I think that any company that tries to stop it, as we saw with Robinhood, quickly becomes the bad guy, even though they were originally there to kind of help these retail investors.
Do you think that, Nick, ultimately the users of the last couple of weeks will get hurt by this, or do you think a lot of them have made a lot of money and that will be their lasting memory from it all?
The funny thing is, I don't think they care. I think, when I've been on the same message boards watching, the Wall Street bets and everything, and they could sell right now and make millions, a lot of them, and they're still saying hold, hold, hold. For them, it's, they're doing it for the lulz. They're doing it because they can, and they're doing it to take on the big established players. What's been so fascinating is that who is the establishment has changed, and that's what it continues to happen across social media platforms, across politics, media, you name it. And I think that I don't know how you stop it from continuing.
Well, Kevin, you've been following all these social media platforms for a long time. Usually we come on and talk to you about politics and what we've seen about the Capitol insurrection. How do you think this plays out ultimately for social media? Do you think that it helps these companies grow? Is this a new value proposition for them, that they have these stock trading groups that are gaining a lot of attention, or ultimately is it going to hurt them?
I don't really think it has much to do with the companies at all. I think the people, who work at GameStop are probably as confused as anyone this week. And I don't think it's something that you can really plan for or build into your models for your next couple of quarters. Like it's totally random almost by definition. And I think that actually companies and their investor relations department are going to have to act a lot more like online. They're going to have to think about things like, their social media strategy. I mean, I think Elon Musk, whatever you think of him, he's really used social media effectively to turn sort of attention into interest in Tesla stock and interest in Tesla. And so I think this sort of meme-ification of finance is going to continue, and the companies that are able to harness that are going to do pretty well.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.